Hi everyone. Should a guilty person go free? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And this is David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Well, that's an interesting question. Should a guilty person go free?
Well, absolutely, if the law was violated in order to convict them. That is, if law enforcement did something they shouldn't have done and violated their rights, their right to privacy, then yes, the outcome should be that the case gets dismissed and they go free.
Okay, that's really interesting. A lot of people would think, hey, shouldn't just, whatever it takes to get a convict, someone who's convicted of a crime thrown in jail should be the way it goes. Like just whatever, the ends justify the means. That seems to be the conventional wisdom, but you're saying that it's actually not that simple.
No, and kind of what spurred this conversation is I was reading an article about how the Fourth Amendment has eroded over time, specifically back in the time of Nixon, the war on drugs, and, is kind of the trickle-down effect from the top down where, everyone was kind of turning looking the other way as law enforcement went after people involved with illegal controlled substances. And eventually the case law started to favor really law enforcement as long as there was this good faith exception. Judges were allowing them to be more and more aggressive in going after people. And it was at the cost of the person's freedoms or protections under the Constitution. And now here we are in 2023, where really it's just always been done that way with, the current judges on the bench. They were, certainly not there back when Nixon was president. And so as that policy has just trickled down, we're here today where really our constitutional rights are less than what they were in the beginning. And that's really not what our founding fathers wanted.
No, it sounds like what you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, is that in these last 40, 50 years, it's really evolved into that the judges are just simply favoring whatever the law enforcement says. In other words, let's just get as many criminals thrown in jail as possible, and it doesn't matter all that much what police do. And that is what has eroded people's rights.
Right. And, I think today, more than ever, people are really becoming aware of, their right to free speech, their right to privacy. And it's become a hot topic. And it's really, great that it's back on the, front and center in everybody's conversation, because we really do need to take back those rights, take back those freedoms. Basically our founding fathers said for good reason that it's better for 100 guilty men to go free than for one innocent man to suffer, because they were fighting, the overreaching government and establishing a new nation. And it was very important, it's what we fought for, and it's just as important today. So I really, am passionate about this topic, and, making sure that justice is the end result of a prosecution.
Yeah, it really shows in the way that you advocate for your clients. Well, if someone wants to run something by you and ask about their situation, how do they do that?
We'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.